reason why I don't ship Courtney. Now, I know they started off as friends in October. At first, they were arguing because they were disagreeing, and I feel like they would argue because they were arguing at first in Road Tour. And I know that they were not friends at the time, but I'll get into why I feel like they will argue more soon after we talk about how they were in the All-Stars. Now, here, they became friend-ish, but Courtney calls her friend-ish. And even when they become friend-ish, Courtney calls Gwen a social goth freak, which is mean, and shows how that Courtney doesn't really know Gwen at all, because we know that's not who Gwen is. Then Courtney sounds surprised, and surprised when she says that Gwen is the most easy person to get along with on her team. As if she didn't know that already. Yes, I know they're on different teams in Island. I know they didn't interact in action that much, but really, Courtney just assumes anything about anyone. She judges everyone's appearance. She assumes anything about anyone. Duncan is, for example. She judged him for wearing sunglasses. Every little thing he does, she complains. And it's like Courtney complains for attention for Duncan at this point. Yeah, I really think Courtney just liked the idea of having a girl to talk to, because she said that she liked the idea of having a girl to talk to, and then if she was really Gwen's friend, she would have called her Gwen's friend. Instead, she called her friend-ish. I know she probably said that because Gwen kissed her boyfriend, but still. She called Gwen friend-ish, which shows how two-faced Courtney can be. Well, fake Courtney can be. Now, I feel like you see an argument because Courtney is fake, and if she is not tolerable towards Gwen when she's like whiny, and when Courtney is just rude, whiny, and selfish, and just like bossy, then I feel like Courtney is fake. Well, I know that Courtney's fake, so I feel like she would annoy Gwen. And then Gwen couldn't see past that in All-Stars, because in All-Stars, Courtney and Gwen were close, like they were friends again. And Gwen's so happy. She wanted to make things right with Courtney. Yes, I understand Gwen wanted to make things right with Courtney. She brought her flowers and stuff, but Gwen was only apologizing, and Courtney didn't accept her apology. She instead thought Gwen as a villain. She framed Gwen, which shows that Courtney hardly knows Gwen. And she doesn't know her like how Trent knows her. Because Trent would never call Gwen a villain. Trent understands Gwen. Unlike Courtney. I understand that Gwen kissed her boyfriend, but people make mistakes. And Gwen did do so many good things, and Courtney should be able to look past that. But Gwen was still wrong for kissing her boyfriend. Gwen made a huge mistake. She has a lot of regret. Of course, Courtney's gonna look at her like the villain. Gwen kissed her boyfriend. I mean, what does Gwen expect to happen? She literally kissed someone else's boyfriend, which was so wrong. But then Courtney should know that in season 1, Gwen was a hero. And in season 1, I know that she wasn't around Gwen that much, and her relationship was almost focused on Duncan in season 1, but I'm pretty sure Courtney had to watch season 1. Courtney did watch season 1 because she said she found out that Harold got her kicked off, so she watched all of season 1. And so far, what we got from her point of view towards Gwen is that she called Gwen an asocial type freak, which is, wow, so unbelievable. Gwen is not an asocial type freak. Gwen is goth, and Gwen likes scary movies. Gwen is a hero in season 1, because she did hero things. For example, she saves Duncan with a rope when he gets carried away by a bird in season 1. I feel like Courtney would judge Gwen, because she literally judged Gwen in season 3. She called her an A-type social freak. That is not who Gwen is. We all know that Gwen is misunderstood. That's not who Gwen is. Gwen just gets annoyed easily, especially around annoying characters. Well, annoying characters to Gwen. And then Courtney would easily judge Gwen by appearance, by look. Not to mention that Courtney literally called Gwen a P-word. Yes, I know she did, because Gwen kissed her boyfriend. But Courtney, it's very toxic. She literally made a list of things to change for Duncan. And therefore, I know Courtney did not want to change Gwen, but I feel like she would do the same to Gwen if they were in a relationship, because Courtney is toxic, she's selfish, and she's mean. And she would just boss Gwen around and tell her what to do. because she's bossy, and that's what she did to Duncan and Scott, mostly Scott. If Gwen doesn't listen, she would just yell at Gwen, and then, like she did in World Tour, and in action, she asked if they had more vegetables to throw at Gwen, and she overreacted. And she didn't believe when Gwen said that she was friends with Duncan, and love is about trust. If she doesn't believe Gwen for everything, because she didn't believe Gwen when Gwen was trying to genuinely apologize in All Stars, love is about trust. That shows that she really doesn't trust or believe Gwen. Gwen is an honest character in the show most of the time, and that shows that Courtney really doesn't know anything about Gwen at all. The fact that she called her a social freak, and she basically showing that she believes Gwen is a liar, shows that she thinks that she doesn't know Gwen at all. Same with Duncan. He thinks that Gwen's doing that stuff on purpose, but at least he knows her better than Courtney knows her. That is only because they bonded in action and they were best friends. So Courtney would just push Gwen away if Gwen ignored her, like she did to Duncan, and then she would just act all stubborn, uptight, which I don't like about her, because that's just really rude. And then in All Stars, yes, I know they bonded, you think that they became friends again. Well, they did become friends again, yes. But Courtney made that chart of Gwen, Scott, and Mal. She drawed double ears on Gwen, which shows how she feels about Gwen. She still think that Gwen's a villain. Out of all this time in their bonding, and of all the time of Gwen being nice to her, she still thinks that Gwen's a villain, which is stupid, because Gwen showed to her that she's not a villain several times. And then Courtney just too stubborn, and she holds grudges, so she cannot admit that she thinks that Gwen's a hero. And she doesn't think that Gwen's a hero. She still thinks she's a villain. And she just drew that on her because she's a brat. Courtney's a brat. And then Courtney made that chart which shows that she used Gwen to get closer to the finals. And it shows that she had a strategy this whole time to use the other characters as well. So she used Gwen. She called her A-type social freak, which shows she doesn't know her. And she used her to show that she was fake towards Gwen the entire time. And plus, she even overreacted, and she doesn't believe Gwen most of the time, which shows that she doesn't trust Gwen. I know it was because Gwen was close with Duncan, but she should have knew that Gwen and Duncan were just friends at the time, because Gwen was telling the truth, and she should have forgave Gwen, because Gwen apologized multiple times, and she was genuinely sorry. She did, however, forgive Gwen when Gwen said that she would tell her to vote for. Courtney was hesitant. She first gave Gwen a mad face, but then she whispered in Gwen's ear and told her who to vote for. They bonded a few times, however. Courtney laughed and walked away along with when Gwen laughed. And when they joked around about Heather being controlled by the Blue Harvest Moon. But then, even in All Stars, when Chris shows videos of Gwen and Duncan kissing, she punches Gwen, even if Gwen and Courtney were friends, and if Courtney's supposed to be past that. Like, what kind of friend does that? I know she was still mad because Gwen kissed her boyfriend. She still probably had feelings for Duncan at the time. Yeah, she did have feelings for Duncan at the time, because she was still mad. Why would you be mad if you were supposed to be over him? But, she's supposed to forgive Gwen, which shows she isn't really over it. And then Gwen really confused me when she said that Duncan wasn't her boyfriend at the time, even though she said that she kissed her boyfriend on World Tour, and even though Courtney said that was her boyfriend, even though they kissed on a bus. Duncan and Courtney kissed on a bus in the action finale, so they were together in World Tour, unless they broke up off screen and nobody mentioned it after the action finale. And if nobody mentioned the breakup after the action finale, and that's bad writing. And they clearly were together, because Gwen literally said that she kissed her boyfriend, even if she heard that from just Courtney, and she probably rewatched his seasons. But if she watched the action finale and seen them kiss on a bus, she should know that they got back together. So I don't know what Duncan told her, but so Courtney made that chart, and she used Gwen the whole time to get further in the game. So we don't know when she made that chart. She probably made it in Sunday episode, the same episode, and we don't know when she thought of making the chart. She probably thought of making it in Sunday episode. Yes. Because that's when she made the chart. Because she cared about winning the money and her selfish desire, and not truly about Gwen. And she just didn't even apologize at first. And not at first. She said wait, and she said that she wanted Gwen to be impressed with her genius. Like, bro, nobody's gonna be impressed after what you did. After Gwen's not gonna be impressed with the fact that you used her to get further in the game, and you were pretending to be her friend the whole time. Like, that's just fake. And like, if they were in a relationship, Courtney would have pretended to be like nice to her the whole time. Even if she would have used Gwen for like the $1 million, and she really wanted Gwen to win. It's like the same thing she kind of did to Duncan. She used Gwen for the $1 million. I mean, she kind of used Duncan for $1 million, in my opinion, because after he won action, she hugged him and she kissed him immediately. But she broke up with him before that when Duncan voted for her, and she overreacted. I really think that Courtney would use Gwen because... And then she outlisted all Duncan's flaws. She made lists of things that changed. She was very controlling, so she probably will be controlling towards Gwen by making her hold her bag and stuff, by outlisting all of Gwen's flaws, by making things a list of things that changed for Gwen. Because she literally called Gwen a goth girl freak, I think. Even in a world tour, she was shocked when Gwen got chosen to be a fashion model. I know the other characters are shocked because Gwen isn't into fashion. Courtney probably knew this since they're bonded, but it seems like Courtney was just judging Gwen because of how Gwen dresses. I know that Gwen's not into fashion, but Gwen didn't say nothing to Courtney about not being into fashion. And then Courtney is just judgmental, so it makes sense for her to judge Gwen by appearance. Like, how do you know Gwen's into fashion and not Courtney? Anyways, when clips of Duncan and Gwen are shown, she still punches Gwen anyway. To me, that's just not being a real friend. That's just fake. I know that Gwen kissed her boyfriend, and I know friends fight sometimes, but remind you that Gwen apologized multiple times. Courtney did not think that her apology was genuine. Courtney thought that Gwen's being dishonest, and Gwen wouldn't lie to her about an apology. Gwen's not a jerk like Courtney is, but Courtney didn't trust Gwen. And friends are not supposed to beat on each other or hit each other, and Gwen was only defending herself. Courtney overreacted again. She punched Gwen several times where it hurts, and she would do the same to them if they were in a relationship. She would literally punch Gwen because World Tour happened years ago, like quote-unquote years ago, like Courtney said. When Scott asked her if she kissed Alejandro, she said, oh, that was years ago. So why is she still mad? And she's supposed to be over Duncan. She ignored him anyways. So why is she still mad? Then Courtney begged Gwen not to vote for her because all she cares about is staying in the game and winning at this point. She's told Gwen she still wants to be her friend, but most people wanted Gwen to forgive Courtney after Courtney made that stupid chart to use Gwen in the challenges. Of course, Gwen told her to vote for herself, and a person analyzed on Google saying that Courtney had character development in All Stars, which I disagree with, because at the end, she probably voted for herself. But that doesn't make Courtney a better character, in my opinion. The person interestingly said that Courtney could have learned her mistake by voting for herself, but if that was true, Courtney would have apologized while she was in the toilet, but she did not apologize, and she did not say that she was wrong. Courtney doesn't admit when she's wrong anymore. Well, Courtney barely admits when she's wrong. Aside from losing a challenge from being focused on her boyfriend, Duncan, for thinking that she saw him when he's a bunch of rocks. But when her actions are wrong, does she admit that? No, she moves on. But she tried to do the same thing Duncan and failed because she punched Gwen. And I feel like she would have been very abusive towards Gwen, very mean towards Gwen. She would have punched Gwen, and she would have hurted Gwen like she did in World Tour and in All Stars. Like in World Tour, she was ready to fight Gwen. Sierra held her back. I don't know why Sierra held her back for, because it's literally total drama. Like, fights happen in that show. But when Courtney was mean to Duncan, Gwen wasn't there. So Gwen didn't know. And then not to mention mean. When Scott stretches, Courtney's fake for Scott too, because Gwen gags and Courtney says, "I know, right? Wow, that's literally her own boyfriend." And she finds her boyfriend gross. Wow, that's just, wow. You're not supposed to find your own boyfriend gross, but it's Courtney. And then Gwen and Courtney laugh, which shows Gwen is starting to take after Courtney because of fakeness. They laugh again when they make fun of Duncan for not punching the baby bird. Like, the baby bird was innocent. It's a baby. What do they want him to do? Kill it? Like, huh? Why are they making fun of him because he's not punching the baby bird? I know it's their boyfriend, and it's because Duncan thinks he's gone soft. He feels weak. I mean, their ex-boyfriend, but seriously though, they're laughing at the situation where he can't punch a baby bird, a defenseless baby bird. What do you want him to do? Kill it? Like, what? That's just evil. Gwen is just following Courtney's fake steps at this point. When Courtney shows signs of being fake towards Gwen, all they do is just laugh at other characters if they're in a relationship, and then at times Gwen would probably correct her for doing that, but Courtney would just ignore it. And then if she were to get mad at Gwen, she would yell at her. Or if, like, she would see videos of Duncan kissing, for example, she would literally punch Gwen. And then, like she did in All Stars and World Tour, she said that she hated Gwen for kissing her boyfriend. Yes, she was mad because Gwen kissed Courtney's boyfriend. But if they got in an argument and something like that happened, Courtney would just, like... Courtney did slap Gwen in World Tour. And I feel like Courtney would be, like, slap Gwen, punch Gwen, or anything like that. She would threaten Gwen, like she did to Duncan. And she would be very abusive to Gwen. Look, they gave each other black eyes in this picture. Black eyes. Gwen was just trying to defend herself from Miss Mean Girl. And Courtney was just overreacting, and she was just abusing Gwen, her own friend, quote unquote friend. If they were supposed to be friends, tell me, why did Courtney punch Gwen? Yes, I know it's because she saw videos of Duncan and Gwen kissing, but why did Courtney punch Gwen when they're supposed to be friends, when she's supposed to be over Duncan? That doesn't make things right. Even if she did miss Duncan, she shouldn't have overreacted like that, because her and Gwen were supposed to be past things now, like Gwen said. They're supposed to be friends. And why did Courtney use Gwen? She had no right to use Gwen. That was just not right. That was wrong on Courtney. Courtney shouldn't have did that. That was her friend. She would have been genuine to her, nice to her, honest to her. She would have forgave her quickly. She would have made things right with her quickly. And that's not a real friend if Courtney's going to use her. Courtney isn't Gwen's real friend, and I don't think they can work in a relationship, because it's, like I said, Courtney would have been mean, bossy, controlling towards Gwen. She would have been fake towards Gwen, and she probably would have been abusive towards Gwen too. Even if they do get along well on World Tour, I really don't think they can be, like, good friends, because Courtney is a narcissist, for starters. She's a narcissist, she's judgmental, and why would Gwen want to be friends with someone like that? Gwen is also kind of a butt kisser, because Courtney is fake and she's a narcissist, and Courtney wants to be a brat towards Gwen. Courtney's a brat towards Gwen, and Gwen still wanted to be her friend. Season 1, Gwen would not care. I want season 1 Gwen back. And Gwen shouldn't be this desperate to be someone who's a brat friend. If anything, she should have asked Duncan about Courtney, about how she treated him, so that Gwen can say to her, Gwen cannot talk to Courtney, because Courtney really mistreated Gwen by using her in that chart. Yes, that's called mistreating someone. When you use someone, that's like mistreating someone. When you punch someone, when you're supposed to be friends with them, that's mistreating someone. And Courtney really mistreated Gwen. No, it wasn't by mistake. Courtney knew what she did was wrong. She did not make amends to give a genuine apology, like a long, genuine apology. She didn't apologize to Scott. or to Zoe. She doesn't like Zoe. I know, for literally no reason. So she had something against Zoe. And I have a theory that Courtney's jealous of Zoe's character, personality, and skills. Because Zoe is kinder than Courtney and much more likable by other characters. Much more nicer. And I have a feeling that Courtney wants to be Zoe, wants to be kind, but she can't because that's not who she is. And she tries to be, like in Voltour, in the beginning of Voltour, but she ends up lashing out on characters. And she ends up being fake and using other characters. And then Courtney... which is mean to Zoe, just like she was mean to Gwen, Duncan, Scott. And then all she cares about is winning the prize money at this point. Why would Gwen want to be with a narcissist? Gwen wouldn't want to be with a narcissist. Gwen's just a butt kisser and she is feeding to be Courtney's friend. But Courtney's a brat and a narcissist. Gwen should just focus on her own life and move on. And Gwen should explain her, Courtney should have just apologized to everyone for being a brat and for being so mean. Especially to Gwen. Especially to Duncan. Gwen shouldn't be this desperate to be Courtney's friend, especially when Courtney mistreats her and treats her like garbage. By mistreat, now I mean when, Courtney basically kept calling Gwen a villain, kept insulting her, ignoring her and stuff like that, walking away. Courtney shouldn't mistreat Gwen. And then that's exactly how they would act in the relationship. They were mad Courtney was mad at her. And then Gwen tried to make things right with her. But it just all backfired. Season 1, Gwen normally wouldn't care what other characters think. But this season, Gwen cares way too much. And that's a problem because Gwen is just too... I don't know, something off about her character in this season. There's something off with multiple characters in the season, multiple OG characters in the season. Sierra is one of them, and Courtney, Duncan's one of them. Gwen just doesn't seem herself. She seems more down and sad, probably because she doesn't want to be in a villain team. But why is Gwen even on the villain team? She should be in a hero's team. Courtney should be in the villain's team. All because Gwen kissed Duncan, when Courtney and Duncan were together. Come on. I know what she did was wrong. What she did was, Chris thought that it was a villainous act. But Courtney did so much worse things than that. She abused her own boyfriend. She cheated by calling him boys to get ahead in the game. The training challenges, for example. She had advantages that the other cast couldn't have, which was selfish of Courtney. She used Lindsay almost to get her parents' DNA. She insulted Duncan numerous times and said horrible things about him in the confessional. She was mean to Beth and to Lindsay. I didn't like Beth in season 2 because she cheated on her boyfriend with Harold, and then Beth was kind of fake towards Lindsay too. And then but I still like Beth in season 1, and then Courtney. She did so many worse things in season 2. So many horrible villainous things in season 2. She did more villainous things in season 2 than Gwen has did. And Gwen did count as a villainous act. But Courtney did so many worse things. Come on. To me, that's just lazy writing. Courtney should be on the villainous team, not Gwen. Because Gwen did more heroic things and Voltour than villainous things. Especially in season 1. Now, I feel that Gwen is a sucker for Courtney. Because literally when Courtney tells her what to do and tells her that Gwen listens, when Courtney tells Gwen that she won't forgive her, Gwen always comes back running towards Courtney. Come on, I know she wants to be Gwen's friend, but are you that desperate? Besides, if Courtney acting that way towards you, you shouldn't want to be your friend anymore. She's a brat, and she shows all the signs of being a brat. So Gwen should just step away from her right now. I know that Gwen is just trying to make up for what she did, because what she did was wrong, and she didn't want to be in a villain's team. She didn't want everyone to hate her, so that's probably why she's apologizing to Courtney. Gwen even stopped caring about Duncan. She was mean to him too, because she kept avoiding him, ignoring him. She lied to him once in All Stars when he asked if she was okay. and he called her doll face, you could tell that Gwen is thinking about something. Obviously, Gwen did not want to tell her own boyfriend something, but lovers are supposed to tell each other everything, and Gwen and Duncan are not lovers. I'm saying that they're not meant for each other. Now that we talk about these two, Gwen and Courtney, I also feel like Gwen will argue with her, telling her that she was wrong for, like, being mean and stuff like that, and Courtney would just, like, change the subject and be like, I have every right to correct you, Gwen, stuff like that. And I feel like Courtney would just make things about herself when she bosses Gwen around, stuff like that. And Gwen would just break up with her because Courtney is a brat and a narcissist. So anyway, now that we talk about these two, let's talk about who I think the three, Duncan, Courtney, Gwen, would be best fit with. Let's start with Gwen. I feel like Gwen would be good with Trent because Trent treated her with kindness and Trent understood her. He saw Gwen and knew that she was kind. He knew that she was a hero and he didn't judge her by appearance like Courtney did. And he didn't assume anything like Courtney and Duncan did assume Gwen. And he was just nice to Gwen. He treated her like a gentleman. He was charming towards Gwen. He even wrote a song for her. And then he spent the time with her, made an effort to talk to her. And I feel like these two have a lot in common, actually. They're both nice, and they both like music. They're both calm. They're both chill, yes. And then they bonded in episode 3 when they talked. Gwen and Trent made an effort to talk to each other. Gwen even blushed around Trent. And then she really, really, really liked the Trent. Trent carried a rock for Gwen to prove his worth to Gwen, but Gwen was still mad at Trent for the burying situation for some reason almost episodes ago, because the writers are too focused on writing Duncan than writing Gwen. But I did like Gwen and Trent together. They're very cute, even though I feel like Trent's kind of cliche. Trent's very cliche, but Trent's still cool character, and he's still well written in season one only, and he's a good character. Now, Courtney, I feel like she'd be good with Mal, since she's a narcissist and she's a villain most throughout the series, in All Stars and in Action and half of World Tour. So I feel like she would be good. Yes, I know, by the way, I meant to say this before, I know Courtney probably had trust issues because of Gwen. That's why she made that chart. But are you serious? She literally showed signs that she trusted Gwen when they were friends. She said, we're going to challenge all the way. And she said that she hopes that she goes with Gwen in the finals. In the confessional booth, I think that's what she said. And Gwen said the same thing. And she seems genuinely happy around Gwen and All Stars before she made that chart. She was actually laughing with her, bonding with her, and that shows that she trusts Gwen. And she was talking to her nicely. That shows that she trusted Gwen, but she made that chart. So it shows Courtney's a horrible person. And sometimes deep down, people don't show that they don't trust people. But she literally told Gwen that she wouldn't take Scott to the finals, that she'd rather take Gwen to the finals. And Gwen was like, what about Scott? And then friends usually tell each other most things. And Courtney literally told Gwen a bunch of stuff, which shows that she trusts Gwen. And you know when Courtney holds grudges, she crosses her arms and walks away and looks away. But she did not do that to Gwen, which shows that she did not hold any grudges. Anyway, I've shipped Courtney and Mal because, yes, it's more fitting for Courtney's character, and because I feel like they have a lot in common. They're both villains. They both use other characters. They're both fake. And they're both, like, clever villains. Courtney's actions are not smart, but when she thinks strategically, that shows that she can be a clever villain. It's like they're both meant for each other. They both love having fun doing bad things. And Courtney said that it was so bad she wanted to do it again to Duncan when she stole food from Chef. And Mal likes having fun doing bad things. That's why he can go to juvie. And I feel like they make a great couple. It's like the bad boy at boss. Yes. It's so fitting for Courtney and Mal. And I feel like Mal would have a soft spot for Courtney. Like, he would call her, I don't know. Like, he would give a nice nickname for her. One of my best friends said that he could call her Angel. They also said that Mal would see Courtney as an angel in his eyes, since Courtney can be, like, for example, in World Tour, and here's what I think. In World Tour, she could be nice-ish at times, so that's why Mal would see Courtney as an angel. When Courtney does bad things and have fun doing it, Mal would find it cute. I had canon that Mal would find it cute. That's my little head canon. And I also had canon that Courtney would find Mal cute if Mal gives nicknames for her, or if Mal takes her out on dates while being a bad boy. I had canon that she would find it cute if Mal does something like sabotage something or something like that. I had canon Courtney find it cute about Mal. I shipped Malney because they're like a perfect pair together. It makes sense. They both have soft spots, because Courtney's like, oh, it's so cute when a dog sat down. I mean, of course, any normal human being would say that. Oh, it's just so cute. And then I feel like Mal would have a soft spot for Courtney. Even though they never interact in All Stars. I know that they never interacted, but it's a rare pair thing. I feel like they would be really cute together, and I feel like the ship is great. Plus, Courtney did use Justin, and Mal did use Zoe, so it makes sense. They both use characters, they're both villains, they're both they're both manipulative, they both have the power to take over the world, they can rule the world together as villains. They can compete against Dovey. There should be a final four with Malney versus Dovey. I would love to see that. Malney the villains versus Dovey the heralds. I would love to see that. And then Malney are cute together, so cute. They should call each other baby, and they are also, I know they would end up competing to win a million, but it would just be playful competitiveness. If they were to compete, they would literally show signs of liking each other. Courtney has a soft spot, therefore she would be nice to Mal, treat him with respect. She would still boss him around a little bit, but not like she does Scott to Gwen. She would nicely boss him around, and then she would be nice to him and treat him well, because Mal treats himself well. Because Mal's a villain and Courtney's a villain, so they won't both get along. They will have a lot to talk about. They will both get along. They won't argue or anything like that. And no, she won't mistreat Mal, because Mal is Mal, that's why. Besides, Mal won't allow that anyway. It's because Mal is tough, and him and Courtney will get along well since they're both villains. And they both causing mischief. It seems Courtney causing mischief, because she said when she did something bad, it felt so fun, and she wanted to do more. And Mal obviously loves causing mischief, because he goes to juvie for it. And we see he does that in All Stars. So yeah, 100% match. Great match. Plus, they will both cause mischief together, which would be cute and fun to see. And they will both rule an empire together. I feel like they're both so cute. Plus, Mal loves Courtney for her. Courtney loves Mal for him. There's a Courtney chart incident. They never interacted, and they didn't say a word to each other. Mal just showed Zoe the chart, Scott the chart, and he said, "Look at the chart Courtney made," but he just said her name. He didn't say anything to her. Courtney didn't. I don't think Courtney said anything to him. If she were, I would literally fangirl. If she did, I would fangirl. But yeah, that's my take on Malney. Now let's talk about Duncan and Zoe. Okay, before we get to OC X Canyon, I want to talk about Canyon X Canyon first, because I have two ships for Duncan. One Canyon ship, one that isn't Canyon, one that's fan made, and one that should be Canyon actually, and I know will never happen in the future total drama, but it should, and one that's OC X Canyon. So I ship Dovey. Yes, I still ship Joshkin, but I ship Dovey at the same level, at the same amount of Joshkin. And Dovey's actually my favorite total drama ship now, besides Owl-Headed, because I feel like it's soft, and Zoe would make Duncan to a better person. Zoe's just kind and caring. She's perfect for Duncan. She also has a savage side that Duncan would like. Duncan would really love that savage side. Commando Zoe, yes. And Duncan's tough. He likes to do like iconic things. Zoe has an iconic side as well. Duncan will love. They both share nice thoughts. Like, they're both really nice. They're both kind and caring. And Zoe would see that in Duncan. She would really like him for it. She would bring the best out of Duncan. Duncan would bring the best out of her iconic side by making her more iconic and brave, making her more brave and skillful. Since Zoe has a lot of skills, making her more confident and skillful. Yes. And then they both work together, that iconic side. They would be the most iconic characters in total drama. The most iconic couple in total drama, I mean. And then Zoe would bring the best out of Duncan, making him be more nice by making him love his nice side more, show his nice side more to other characters, not hide it, because then Duncan would feel Zoe wouldn't allow him to embrace that inside by being open towards him and telling him that she really likes the nice side, that she show it to other characters, that it make him a better character, and and if they dive deeper into that by making Zoe ask him why he doesn't like to admit that when he's nice at time towards him, and why he just wants to act tough all the time, and by Zoe saying that she wants him to like show his nice side more, and she thinks it's cute by making Duncan blush. I feel like that would be cute. Duncan has a soft side for the little bird, for example, for his dog Piety. For the little blue bird, for example, if Zoe sees that, I would fangirl, because he said all to little bird, and I feel like they had a missed opportunity to take Zoe and Duncan friendship further, or to make, even though I forgot she was with Mike at the time. Yes, I know she was with Mike at the time. I do like Mike and Zoe together, but I feel like their relationship can get a little boring at the time. Just boring. And I feel like Duncan and Zoe would make a lot more sense. I'm not a big Zoe fan. I mean, what's it called? Did I say it right? No, I did not say it right. Zoe. I mean, I'm not a big Psych fan. I prefer Zoe as Duncan. And I think that they are kind together. Zoe would help Duncan embrace his kind side, soft side more, and Duncan would stop calling himself soft. I feel like the writers had this opportunity to have Zoe allowing Duncan to embrace his kind side more, and them diving deep into that about why he doesn't want to act kind all the time, why he wants to show his left side. And I feel like they should have Zoe help his character. They should have had Zoe help his character more, and like for Duncan, and like having him be more kind and loving his kind side, and having him grow character development from there, and having him show maturity of like being himself for who he is, the kind Duncan and the mature Duncan. Yeah, not the one who blew up Chris Cottage. Yeah. And Zoe was like, Duncan, where you going? And she had me fangirling, because in the show Zoe cares about Duncan as his friend. I know they're just friends, but I want them to be more. I want them to be more than that. Also, I feel like they were both. I would literally fangirl if I see both of them act like this, like in the picture. If like Duncan were to act like this in his face, like his Commander Zoe face, his hunting face, and Zoe act like Commander Zoe, that would be hilarious. And that would just make me say, oh, they're so silly and cute. And Duncan showed his flirtatious side with acting like this. That would be so cute. If he showed it to Zoe. They should have been together since season 1. Zoe should have been on OG cast. They should have been together since season 1. They're so cute. It makes me sad that so many people hate on Zoe, and I don't know why people hate on it. I don't know if they think because Zoe it's with Mike, or if they think because Duncan's not good for her, they should dunk me, or if they think because like they're just friends, and if they think it's boring, or if they just like don't see it, or if they think Zoe's too nice for him, or they think Duncan's too tough for her. I don't know, but that's not the case. Zoe can be with a tough guy, and Duncan can be with a nice girl. Like, come on, they're both made for each other. And Zoe clearly would show an interest in Duncan. She is so sweet and smart, and Duncan is also has a sweet side. He's very tough, and Zoe has a tough side. So yeah, that's why I ship Zoe. They would literally rule total drama together. They would take over total drama as iconic characters if they were a couple, and they would rule All Stars if they were a couple. I honestly wanted Zoe and Mike to break up, and I wanted Duncan and Zoe to get together, and I wanted them to rub it in Courtney's face because I don't like Courtney. At the same time, I do love her. I love Courtney's villain side. At the same time, I also don't like it, but I love it. I don't know how to explain it. It's like, you know, when you dislike something and you like it at the same time, it's like that. So anyway, I don't want Duncan to obsess with Courtney. I want him to stay fully focused on Zoe. I want him to love Zoe for Zoe. I want them to fall in love, actually. I want them to get serious. I don't tell drama to take relations serious, and that's exactly why I said this ship is never going to happen in the show, since Zoe's with Mike, and since the OG cast won't come back probably, and since they probably won't focus on Duncan's relationships or Zoe's relationships, and since they'll be focusing more on the challenges and the reboot cast, and since the creator doesn't ship them at all, he wants something to happen. He literally said in a video, his own YouTube video, that he misses Duncan, that he wishes they would return, which is, yeah, the creator ships Duncan, guys, but, I'm kind of curious what will happen if they get back together in their 30s, what will happen, but yeah. Anyways, let's talk about Joshkin. Now, I ship Jocelyn as Duncan because Jocelyn's tough. Jocelyn is my OC. She's tough, kind. She's sweet. She's kind. She's caring. She has some she's like, okay, so her personality is like, it's a bit like Matt's from Stranger Things. I don't know if you guys watch Stranger Things. I watched all 4 episodes of season 5. It was really good, guys. I loved it. So, Jocelyn is like that. But she's also very kind, caring. She can be a girly girl. Jocelyn's also a tomboy. Jocelyn is very smart. Jocelyn is tough. And Jocelyn also has a soft side, and she's cool. I feel like her and Duncan are a great match because Duncan likes cool girls. Duncan likes tough girls. Like, he's tough, he's cool. Well, sometimes he's cool. But what's uncool about him is how he bullied Harold. What's uncool about him is how he left Chris Mansion. Duncan can be very childish. I mean, sometimes he can be cool, like with Jeff and DJ. When they're bonding, when they're nice to each other, yes. With Owen, yes. And Jocelyn and Duncan are meant for each other. Their chemistry makes so much sense. I feel like Duncan would be into tomboys, cool girls, sweet girls, and Jocelyn is all of those. She's a tomboy, she's a cool girl, she's a sweet girl. And Duncan will like that, especially when Jocelyn has some personality mix of Matt's from Stranger Things. Duncan would like fall instantly in love with her. Matt's is a tomboy, and Matt's is like, she stands up for like other characters, like 11. For example, Jocelyn would literally do the same thing if she was in total drama action, and if she knew Courtney was abusing Duncan. If y'all seen Stranger Things season 2, basically Matt's was just like tough. That's all I'm gonna say. And then Jocelyn was like to tell Duncan to dump Courtney, and then she would say that Courtney was wrong for abusing him, and she would hang out with Duncan. Yes, a total Matt's vibe. And then Jocelyn is very smart. She's strong, she's tough, and she likes skateboarding. So I feel like her and Duncan are a great match. They would both do like cool things together. They would both skate and ride bikes together. They would eat out together. And plus in my age, Jocelyn is going to be obsessed with Duncan, and she's gonna fall in love with him, which is cute. And I feel like they would obsess over each other. They're a great match in the canyon, and they would both be hyped together with doing tomboy things. They would both be excited to see each other. They both hug each other. They both get along together. They both play video games together. They both tease each other in a playful way. And Jocelyn even play fight with Duncan in a playful way. They were both like they both flirt with each other. Jocelyn likes to flirt with the guy she's interested in, so she will flirt with Duncan since she's interested in him. They both flirt with each other. They both act tough together. They both laugh together when hanging out, and they both they both would not like Courtney. So Jocelyn doesn't like Courtney in my AU because since Courtney was mean to Duncan. So Jocelyn would just tell her that she's jealous because Duncan's having a good time, and Jocelyn would rub it in her face. And then Jocelyn would call Courtney abusive. So I feel like Jocelyn and Duncan would be very cute for each other since they both have so much chemistry. And yeah, they're both kind and caring. Jocelyn would bring the best out of Duncan with his tough side and kind of caring side. They would both do cool things together. They would both do pranks together. Duncan would bring the best out of her. Well, yes. And they would both tell each other their secrets and everything else. So yeah, that's what I ship. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Bye.